It's perfectly reasonable when we're experiencing anxiety to wonder why. And this can be a helpful question. We can look at our personal history, get a sort of understanding of the factors, the experiences that may predispose us to anxiety. We can look at what's going on physiologically, and that understanding can help us to get a bit of perspective about what's going on. We can look more broadly at culture and society and the world, and to have a sense of our place in that world, and have a sense, of course, it's reasonable that we might be experiencing anxiety. And all of these understandings can help to put things in perspective, in a way help us to not give ourselves such a hard time about this. But at a certain point, this question why can actually become counterproductive. And it's because actually the way that our minds and brains are using that question to try and solve the problem, because anxiety is an experience, a feeling, actually that questioning can itself reinforce and amplify the feeling. And so at a certain point, it can be really helpful to switch from why to the questions of, well, what am I experiencing? Actually coming closer to the experience, particularly in the body. And also, how am I processing this? Getting a sense of how we're actually relating to the experience. The bodily experience, the thoughts as well, the behaviors that are part of this too. And so this shift from what's sometimes called a kind of conceptual way of knowing things and processing them to a more experiential way can be really helpful in actually bringing some relief, a sense of freedom, and shifting actually what we're experiencing in a subtle way that can really empower us so that we can live our lives as best we can. And this shift from the conceptual to the experiential is part of what's involved with mindfulness and meditation. That's often why there's such an emphasis on the body, of paying attention quite closely to what's happening. But of course we need to do this in a way that's manageable for us, because one of the reasons we go to the conceptual in the first place, one of the things that can drive all of this questioning, is because we're actually afraid of the anxiety. We don't know what to do with it. We don't know how to hold it. We've never learned that. And so part of the art of this process, learning to ground ourselves, learning to find a little bit of space, learning to bring in elements like kindness and patience, are all in the service of making this manageable and ultimately effective. And so if this is something you experience, if anxiety is a feature for you, as I said, perfectly reasonable that you have these questions of why, and at times that can be a really useful thread to explore. But also at a certain point, learning to shift into the, well, what am I experiencing? Coming a little closer to that, and how am I processing this? Can be really fruitful in actually freeing you up, enabling you to have more flexibility and creativity, both with anxiety and also within your life. Okay, hope that was helpful, interesting, useful in some way. If you'd like to find out more about what I'm doing, you can see my website, alexirving.co.uk. Okay, take care.